Welcome to Positive Energy with Crystals. My name's Hillary, and today we're doing a Q&A, so I thought I'd do it face to face. So I haven't posted videos in a couple weeks because if you remember back a couple months ago, I was talking about going to the dentist. Well, I did, and then it kind of screwed things up. I went to a big appointment, and I lost my voice, and I finished everything up this past Monday, and I'm still in pain, but it's getting better. So I've got so many videos planned. I've got, I think, 6 videos I'm planning on recording today, and I can't see if my microphone's working very well, so it's a thing. So I've got this Q&A video. I've got new crystals to show off. I've got what else? I'm going to show you all my protection crystals. I've got 2 in the new series, the crystal recommendations for fictional characters. I guess something so exciting. I can't wait to tell you that, but it's not ready yet. I'm going to try to record. It's going to be a series within a series, and I'm going to try to record the first video of that series within a series. So I got a lot to do today, which is why I've gone into my comfiest shirt. I got a lot to do today. So, for this Q&A video, I've had a lot of questions that when you post a comment or a question, either in the comments of this video or any of the videos, or Instagram, or in the Positive Energy with Crystals Facebook group, I try to answer it as good as I can. But sometimes it needs a little bit longer of an answer. So I try to give you like the basic, what I can type out, short answer, and then I tell you I'm going to do a longer video. Either I may do a video on that, or like this one's a bunch of questions that I think they don't need their full video or full episode. I think just doing the Q&A type video is going to be good enough. If you do have any questions at any time, please ask them. Sometimes it may end up being a full episode, like I said. Sometimes it may just be a really quick, I can answer it in the comments. And sometimes I might do a video like this. I'll tell you though, if I do need to give you a short answer, I'll put it in the comments that watch for this. This video I told people was going to be out a few weeks ago, and I'm sorry it didn't happen. I tried to get ahead during all that dentist stuff because I knew it was going to happen, and then it ended up I couldn't talk, so that didn't work out. So let's start with the first question, because I'm really hyper because I've got some exciting news, and I can't tell you yet because I don't have it all worked out, and all I can do is think about that. So I need to calm down and answer some questions. Okay, first question. My granddaughter always wants to buy the crystals you find in gift shops, but I don't know if they're real or just gift shop crap. I also don't want her to end up with something dangerous. How do I know if it's okay for her to buy something that is real and safe? First of all, there are very few crystals that are actually dangerous. And I say that, and then I'm going to show you, there are some that aren't very good to handle. This one, and I can't see, this is red tiger's eye. I know my dog's going to get up and move around. Red Tiger's Eye is fine. You see how it's polished? And wait for her to lay down. She's comfy now. So Red Tiger's Eye is perfectly fine like this to handle. It in its raw form, it can make you sick if you handle it and then don't wash your hands. If you handle it in its raw form, there are a few crystals like that. Let's see. There are ones that you don't want to make an elixir out of. So an elixir is you put a crystal in a bottle of water. Like, can you see this? Like if I wanted to make an elixir, I'd put a crystal in here, put my water in it, and then the properties of the crystal go into the water and you drink it. Now there's some that you don't want to do that with. Ones that are going to dissolve, like selenite. Selenite will dissolve in water, so you don't want to do that. And then there's also ones, even malachite. Sorry, the ring light is in the way and I can't see if it's focused or not. So malachite, I think it's focused on my face. I'm sorry. Malachite, you don't want to make an elixir with. Now they do make special water bottles that have something that comes out of the bottom, and you can put the crystal in that, and it goes, it slides up, so the crystal is like protected inside like a plastic thing that goes up into your water bottle. It works the same way. It just your water isn't touching the crystal itself. It's inside a protective little thing. So I would say that there's not really any, especially if you're buying them in like a museum, gift shop, or a rock shop, it's very rarely you're going to come across something that's like dangerous. I can't think of anything that would be considered dangerous. Really, an elixir, I don't know how old your granddaughter is, but if she's young, she shouldn't be doing elixirs anyway. That's a little advanced. I do have several pieces, and I didn't pull any of them out, from, like I've said before in other videos, when I was in junior high, I have two little, this isn't one of them, but I do have two amethysts and a hematite that I bought when I was 12, 13, and they're perfectly fine. They're real. I also have some snowflake obsidian. I've got a pendant, rhodonite pendant, that were all bought from like a museum gift shop. They're perfectly fine. They're safe. They're good. A lot of well, okay, most of them are real and perfectly fine. Sometimes you're going to find, I didn't really get a banded type agate. I don't know if this is, so you'll find an agate or even a howlite that might be dyed. They're fine, they're just dyed. I personally don't, well, it depends. There's some crystals I'm okay working with that are dyed, and it's just my personal feeling. It just, some of them feel icky to me. I've got some I'm actually going to do an episode on this, so I'm not going to go too far, but I do have some blue howlite that's been dyed, and I bought it as dyed howlite, and I knew it was howlite. Sometimes howlite is dyed to look like turquoise, but this was sold to me as blue howlite, and it just feels icky to me. I don't like it. I would say if your granddaughter is drawn to something, let her get it. It's perfectly fine. If she if there's one that she's really, really, really drawn to, like the two little pieces of the banded amethyst that I bought when I was in junior high, I was so drawn to those pieces that I got two of them, and then I got one piece of the hematite. I think it was like $3 for $1 or something like that. It's been a while. If she's drawn to something that she feels like she wants more than one piece of, it's fine. She can have more than one piece of. That time I put both of mine in my jewelry box, and I really didn't do much with it. I set them out once in a while, but now knowing more about them, I understand why I feel like I needed the two. It's because that's my crystal. That's my my daily carry, my go-to for anxiety, calming, all that. Let's see what else. So some of the popular ones you're going to find in a gift shop are like the amethyst and the hematite. Howlite I notice is becoming really popular, and a lot of some of it's dyed. And see, this is why I do overview for crystals. I don't know if you're able to see this. Agates are really, really popular. You'll see a ton of agates. Agates are really good. The amethyst, geode, raw point stuff, you'll see a lot of that, and sometimes it's mixed with pyrite. And they might have like, so where I grew up, the area had a lot of mining history, so we had a lot of the I didn't pull out my geode. It'd be like a amethyst geode flat, and then it'd have a pyrite little miner guy figure in there. So those perfectly fine. So pyrite's a really popular one. Goldstone is really popular. It's man-made, but it's great. Turquoise. This is a small piece. Usually the turquoise is a little more expensive. Smoky quartz and clear quartz are really popular. Selenite, you'll see a lot of selenite, especially those towers that are kind of spin up. And I just got a few more here. Red jasper is really popular, and I noticed sodalite's becoming pretty popular, and unakite too. And then I apparently grabbed the smallest piece. I have tons of tiger's eye that's huge, and I couldn't find it, so here's a small piece of tiger's eye. I also couldn't find my snowflake obsidian. Snowflake obsidian is very popular because it's pretty. What else? I think that's most of them. They're perfectly fine. Let your granddaughter. They're usually cheap too. In those gift shops, they don't. Most of the time, they don't put the really more expensive ones. You might find some malachite, but I think that's pretty rare because malachite is a little bit more expensive, and you'll probably see a lot of jewelry made out of malachite, which if you wear malachite earrings, I cannot, I just can't imagine that. Malachite is so heavy. Anyway, I need to focus. I'm a little hyper. So yes, the gift shop stuff is probably real. It might be dyed. Perfectly fine. And it's totally safe. If you up for buying your granddaughter, it's getting windy. If you're up for buying your granddaughter some crystals from a gift shop, it's perfectly safe. They also have those bins where you like scoop it up and fill the bag. I've noticed that a lot of those now are doing, some of it's dyed agate and some of it's dyed glass. So I might avoid those if you're wanting something that's real. just because a lot of it, the ones I've seen here lately, it's a lot of dyed glass, which is pretty, but if you're wanting some real, then that's probably not. Okay, next question. For some reason, I'm using my hands a lot too. It's because I'm hyper. Why did you choose crystals over something else, like herbs or oils that are more popular? The short answer is that's what I'm drawn to. I work with herbs and oils and candles, and I love working with those. But crystals are my thing. That's what I'm drawn to. When I feel I need more protection or something, I'll grab a crystal. Or, if I'm feeling anxious, I grab a crystal. They're just my thing. I've been drawn to them for a long time, and after I kind of started realizing that they had metaphysical properties, I started researching them more, and I just fell even more in love with them. So I like all the other stuff too, and I work with it. I'm drawn to crystals more than anything else. And I talking about them, researching them, holding them, wearing them. I love them. Question number 3. Are there any crystals you refuse to buy or work with? So, when I wrote out the notes for this, I had 2 crystals on that list. And then you'll see Bliss Crystals had a sale, and I bought one of those crystals. So right now I'm going to say Moldavite is the only one right now that I can think of. And it's not saying that I wouldn't buy it, that I'd never ever buy it. It's just that there for a while it became really, really trendy, and the prices went up, and it got crazy expensive. And I've never held any in my hand, but I've been around people that have had a necklace pendant, and it's one of those, it feels icky to me. And maybe holding it in my hand may be something completely different experience, but I don't know. I've never been drawn to it, and it's expensive. I think the prices are coming down, but I'm not going to say I would never, because you'll see in my new crystals video that I also said I would never buy sulfur because it smells so bad, but I bought sulfur, and I'll explain that in that video. I'm not going to go into that right now. Alright, I'm back. Needed a quick break. Let's see, where are we? How do you know which crystals to use for what? Research, trial and error, mostly research. I don't just automatically, when I do the videos, the crystal recommendations for fictional characters, I don't just, think of, okay, like in my Grinch one, that Cindy Lou Who has this going on, and I know exactly right away. Sometimes I still have to research. You'll see coming up that in the one that I'm really excited about, I have had to do a lot of research. There's some like amethyst, I know is really good for calming. Smoky quartz is really good for protection. Agate is really good for grounding, stuff like that. Clear quartz is a really good, I didn't think I showed that in the last question, or the going about the granddaughter. Clear quartz is you're probably going to find a lot of clear quartz in a museum gift shop type thing. But clear quartz, I know if I don't have something, or I'm not exactly sure what, clear quartz is a good one to use. So a lot of it is researching, using it. Amethyst is a really good example. I've been drawn to it for a long time, and I kind of right away recognized that it was a good calm me down crystal, and it's become my daily calming crystal that I carry every day. I always have amethyst with me. I've tried, I'm pulling out. I've tried blue lace agate, which is also supposed to be really good for like anxiety and calming down. I can't think of another one off the top of my head right now. I've got so much going through my head right now. But working with the other crystal and other crystals that are supposed to be good for calming, I have found the amethyst is my calming crystal. There's lots of protection crystals. I didn't bring any. I didn't grab any black tourmaline. Black tourmaline is my go-to protection crystal, but I also know that smoky quartz is good for me too. Now with smoky quartz, the darker, kind of like the amethyst, the darker the purple and the banding, I know works better than like the light colored amethyst. The darker the smoky quartz, the better it works for me. What's another one? Agate, I've noticed, this doesn't, the more banding it has, the more, oh, I know one here. So I haven't done videos yet, so I'm recording this in February, and hopefully it will be posted next week. It's still February. But so for February, I'm working with crazy lace agate. So whoops, sorry, didn't mean the crazy lace agate. I'm trying to get, I guess right there. So the more layering and banding an agate has, the better it works for me. So this agate is still grounding to me, but this one is even more grounding to me. And that's just from me working with stuff, with all of them, and learning how I react to them. And it may be completely different for everybody else. You know, you may not like a super layered agate. You may just like kind of a I call it boring. It's not really boring. It's just a more where you see less of the layers in an agate. There's crystals like Unakite. See how it's got the pink in there? I don't know if it's blurry. There are some people that the more green the Unakite is, the better they work with it, and some people, the more, if it has more pink in it, it's better for them. Lapis lazuli, I did not grab one of those, but it has, lapis lazuli has a little bit of pyrite throughout it, and so there's some people that prefer a lot of, or they can see the pyrite sparkle, and some people, with me, with lapis lazuli, it doesn't matter. I'm good either way, but there's some people that it works better for them with the more pyrite. So it's just researching it, holding it, just experimenting. And I have done a lot of research, and I've come up with ways to organize my research. I've got when I do my protection crystals video, I will show you another way I'm doing my research. And books, I've got a huge mess. I can't just grab out a book right now. So just researching and experimenting is how I know. Now I may recommend a crystal, like for protection. I may recommend black tourmaline because that's my protection crystal. And you may pick up black tourmaline, and which is very rare because a lot of people love black tourmaline, but you may pick it up and you feel nothing. You may prefer a smoky quartz. I love smoky quartz. I do use it, but my go-to for protection is black tourmaline, and that's just my preference. So, did I answer all that? So research and experimenting. Number 5, in a grid, what kind of grid is your favorite to use amethyst in, and what area of the grid do you most often put an amethyst? That's a good question, but it's really hard to answer. The short answer is whatever you want to do. To me, so amethyst is really good for calming. It has some protection qualities. It's really good for third eye work, intuition. That's all I can think of right now. To me, I would put, if I was doing, if I needed some extra calming, if I was going through a lot and I wanted a crystal grid set up to calm anxiety, maybe a little bit of protection, just help me get through whatever's going on. If it's something that's really stressful and I need a lot of calming, I'm going to put an amethyst in the center. I would put, which I don't know if I have an amethyst point. I've got amethyst points, but I don't think I've got one that would stand up. I would try to figure out one that I could have an amethyst point standing so it could send it out. But also this heart-shaped would be really good for something like that too. If it's something that, let me think. Maybe I'm doing something that's not so much that, okay, say I've got a lot going on. Here's one. Say I'm starting a new job, and for that I would want something more general, like a clear quartz in the center, and then the supporting crystals around, I would want like a protection crystal in there. I would want something for calming, maybe something for luck and prosperity, and maybe some tiger's eye for manifestation type stuff. So in that case, the focus wouldn't be something calming because it's starting a new job. So there's going to be a lot more to it. So I would use a more general in the center. And then I'll let my support crystals go along with that. But if I'm doing I need to calm down, and that's the focus of that, is calming, I would use amethyst for my center, because that's my connection to, amethyst is my calming crystal. That's my connection to amethyst, that's my main connection, is the calming. And so that's what I would put in the center of my calming crystal grid. If it's something else, like I say, that get a new job where I need help with it, then it would be a supportive in the, the outer part. Is that really confusing? I feel like I repeated a bunch of stuff, and I don't know if I made sense, but I hope I did. Let's see, let me read my notes. Oh, a grief grid. That's a good one. If you're having, you had somebody pass away and you want, now when I'm dealing with grief, I usually just carry more crystals on me. But if you want to do one for grief, amethyst is really good for grief. It's also good for sleep, pain, and healing. So any of those, for any of those, I'd probably use as a support one, not as a center crystal. Well, maybe the sleep one. Trying to think. Let me read my notes again. Offering to a deity. So, some people do crystal grids as offerings to a deity. I work with Hestia, and one of her crystals that she likes for offering is amethyst. So I might, if I was doing a crystal grid for her, I might put amethyst in the center, and then, because that's her main crystal, I'd probably put a few supportive ones around too. That's all I can think of right now. If you've got any more questions about that one, if I totally confused on that, put it in the comments. Alright. Question number 6. I need to get going. I got a lot of videos to record today. What happens if I miss the full moon? Will my crystals still work if I don't charge them every month? Okay. Crystals don't stop working if you don't charge them. There's lots of opinions and lots of different answers to this question. So I will tell you my opinion. So there are lots of ways to charge a crystal. There's the full moon, water, salt, burying it. I use the full moon because I feel it's the safest. You know, there's some crystals that don't like water. There's some that don't like sun. Sun, you can charge in the sun too. There's some that you don't want to bury because same thing if they get wet or whatever. Some don't react good to salt. Full moon seems to be the safest. And you can put them outside. You can put them in a windowsill. To me, I like the full moon because to me it feels like the safest way. And to me, the full moon just feels more powerful too. Now, my husband, on the other hand, he has a piece of sunstone that he feels does better in the sun. So the day after a full moon, he'll put his sunstone out in the window and charge it in the sun, and he feels that that day after, you know, you had the full moon at night, so that next morning he feels that that sun is more powerful for his sunstone. So it's just kind of once again a personal preference, but to me, charging a crystal, okay, so a crystal's not going to stop working if you don't charge it. It's still going to work. It just may not feel as powerful to you. The best way I can explain it is, you know, when you need to defrag your computer, it's running really slow, and you know that the memory bits are all scattered all over, and you defrag it, and it brings up it brings all the empty memory together, so your computer works better, runs faster. To me, charging a crystal is like defragging it. It brings all the energy back. It cleanses out all the stuff that it doesn't need anymore. It just brings it all back together into I don't know how to explain it. It's working in my head, but I don't know how to tell you. I think the defragging thing explains it. Now, there's no way I'm going to take out my complete collection of crystals. You know, there I've got big pieces. I've got tons of tumbled and small pieces. There's no way I'm taking everything. I used to be able to take all of my crystals out, but now I have too many. There's no way. It's not feasible. But my black obsidian sphere that I have in storage, it's not going to quit working because I don't feel like taking it outside. It'll be fine. It may not be as strong, and I may want to cleanse it or something, but it's going to be fine. So if you miss a full moon, you're fine. You also don't have to take it outside. I feel that crystals outside under a full moon, it just feels stronger to me. Now, right now, I haven't been able to take them outside for quite a while just because of where we're living. So I've been putting it in the window, which is fine. It works. And like during winter, or if it's really rainy or just something, it's better to do that anyway. You don't want to take your crystals outside and then bring it inside where it's cold, and then bring it inside where it's really warm. It can crack them and damage them, and you don't want that. So if you've got bad weather, it's fine to put it in the windowsill. It's fine if you miss a full moon. I put my daily carry and then the stuff, the black tourmaline that I keep by the doors, I try to make sure that those get cleansed charged every month, just because they're always working. I feel they need that extra defragging. If for some reason we're traveling and I can't, or if we're just super busy and I forget, it's totally fine. They're not, my amethyst isn't going to stop working because I didn't put it under the full moon. I'll be fine. It just may not feel as strong. But it's still gonna work. It'll be fine. I think that was it. So, let me know if you have any more questions, if I totally confused you. Like I said, I'm sorry. I'm really hyper. I got so much stuff going on. I've got things I want to show you, or I've got new stuff coming. I've got something really big that I need to finish up. If you are in the Positive Energy with Crystals Facebook group, I am going to announce that really exciting news probably after I post this video. So this video will go out next Tuesday, so probably towards the end of the week I'll put the exciting news in that group. So if you're not a member of that group, go join it. My dog is snoring, I'm sorry. I think that's all I had for this one. So I'm going to go record 5 more videos, actually 4.5, and then start working on editing. So thank you everybody, and I will see you next time.